The message came through at 6:47 a.m., just as I was buttoning my shirt for work. Spending the week at Dad's. He's not doing well. Don't worry, I'll keep you posted. Love you. Her name, Emily Redart, appeared at the top of the thread, next to the small red heart she'd added months earlier, back when things between us still felt right. I stared at those last two words, love you, and felt a faint ache in my chest. Her father's health had been shaky for years, so her staying a few days to help wasn't unusual. But a week, that was new. Still, I didn't question it. Not then. You don't start a marriage by doubting the person who shares your bed. You start with trust. But trust, I'd come to learn, doesn't always shatter suddenly. Sometimes it decays quietly, like we're hollowed out by termites. The first strange thing happened 2 days later. I was taking out the trash when I noticed a cream-colored envelope sitting in the mailbox. The handwriting was neat and looping, definitely personal, not a bill. My name, Daniel Cooper, was written across the front. No return address. I tore it open right there on the porch. Inside was a printed photograph, slightly grainy, like it had been taken from a distance. It showed Emily at a cafe I didn't recognize, sitting across from a tall man with dark hair, leaning in a little too close. Her smile wasn't polite. It was the soft, private one she used to give me, the kind that said she was exactly where she wanted to be. No note, no explanation, just a photo. I sat on the porch steps, the morning sun burning the back of my neck, staring at it. My hands trembled as I flipped it over, expecting some message, but the back was blank. I tried to reason with myself. Maybe it was an old friend. Maybe someone was playing a cruel prank. Maybe it wasn't what it looked like. But deep down, my gut whispered something colder. This is how it begins. That evening, she called. Her voice was calm. Normal. Dad, still not great, she said. I might stay through the weekend. You okay without me? Yeah, I lied. Just miss you. I miss you too, Dan, she sighed. But I could hear something in the background. Faint laughter, a man's voice, maybe a TV. She said she was in her father's guest room. Her dad didn't even have cable. When the call ended, I sat in the dark kitchen, the hum of the refrigerator filling the silence, feeling something unravel inside me. The next morning, I drove to her father's house, 3 hours away, just outside Richport. His old Chevy sat in the driveway, but the curtains were drawn tight. No one answered when I knocked. I tried calling Emily. No response. Then I tried her dad. Straight to voicemail. That's when the neighbor, Mrs. Grant, an elderly woman across the street, stepped outside. Looking for Bill? She asked. Yes, ma'am, I said. And his daughter, Emily. Her expression softened. Oh, honey. Bill's been in Florida for 2 weeks visiting his sister. For a moment, I couldn't breathe. Are you sure? Saw him leave myself, she said. Emily hasn't been here. The world tilted. Somehow, I managed to thank her, keeping my voice steady, but inside something split open. That night, I didn't sleep. I sat in the living room, the photo in one hand, her text in the other, comparing them like evidence in a trial. She had lied. Completely. But why? And who was the man? 3 days later, the mailman came again. Another cream envelope. Same handwriting. Inside was another photo. Emily standing outside a lakeside cabin, her hand tangled with the same man's. He was kissing her forehead. Her hair was messy, windblown, the way it got after she laughed too hard. I recognized the place instantly. It was our cabin, the one we rented every summer, the one where we carved our initials into a birch tree and promised to grow old together. That's when the pain turned sharp. I didn't confront her right away, though I wanted to, desperately. I needed to see it with my own eyes before I tore everything apart. So I waited, planned. By Friday, I'd taken a day off work. I drove up to the cabin near Lake Marston and parked behind a cluster of trees along the dirt road. It was quiet except for birds and the low whisper of wind through the pines. Around noon, a silver SUV pulled into the driveway. Emily got out first, wearing the red sweater I'd given her for Christmas. Then he stepped out, the man from the photos. He carried a duffel bag. slipped his arm around her waist, and she leaned into him like it was second nature. I gripped the steering wheel until my knuckles went white. She looked happy, effortlessly, carelessly happy. They went inside. I didn't storm in or shout. I didn't make a scene. I just turned the car around and drove home, thinking for hours. The next morning, I went to the post office, bought a large envelope. I printed the photos, both the ones I'd received and several more I'd found in her hidden iCloud folder. Her old iPad was still synced to our account. There were pictures of her and him. Ryan, I learned from a saved contact, on trips she'd said were girls' weekends. Paris, Denver, the lake. I added one more thing. A copy of our joint bank statement showing a $3,200 transfer to R.V. Mitchell. At the bottom of the last page, I wrote a single line in blue ink. I hope he's worth what you threw away. I sealed the envelope, addressed it to her office, and waited. It arrived Tuesday. I know because she called at 1:14 p.m. Her voice was shaking, breathless. Dan, what is this? Why would you? I cut her off. I wanted you to see it all in one place, I said. The lies, the money, the man. It's easier to understand betrayal when it's printed on paper. She started crying. Please? I can explain. No, I said quietly. You already did. Every time you lied. Every time you left. There was silence. Then a whisper. I didn't mean to hurt you. You just didn't care enough not to, I replied and hung up. That night, when I came home, the house felt emptier than ever. Most of her things were gone. The air that once smelled faintly of her perfume now smelled like nothing at all. For the first time in months, the quiet didn't feel heavy. It felt honest. 2 weeks later, another letter arrived. Same cream envelope. Same handwriting. I hesitated before opening it. Inside was a single photograph. Not of Emily, not of Ryan. It was me, sitting on the porch that first morning, holding the first photo I'd received. Beneath it, written in neat cursive, she's not the only one who deserved to know the truth. No signature. No explanation. Just a chilling reminder that someone out there had watched everything. My pain, my disbelief, my revenge, and decided to make me part of their story, too. That photo sits in my desk drawer now. Not as a trophy. Not as a wound. But as a reminder. Betrayal doesn't always come from strangers, and revenge doesn't always bring peace. Sometimes it just ends a chapter that should have closed long before the mailman ever came.